video is gonna be a flop. Sorry for the iPhone camera quality and the weird angle and lighting going on. You don't care. Why am I apologizing? I wanted to come to you live, not live at all, with the book haul. So these are the books that I acquired all December, and I was planning on doing a pre-Christmas book haul and all this fun stuff. Never got around to it, so here we are now. So this will contain a book outlet book haul, things I've received as Christmas presents, things I've traded for, things that I bought myself. Let's get right on started. This first thing I have is this box, which came in the mail from Penguin. I've already opened it because I'm Snoopy AF, and I wanted to know what's she doing in there. There's a piece of paper, which you glance at and throw. And so this is an arc of a book called City of Saints and Thieves. This book is about a mother and a daughter who flee Congo and go live in Kenya. It's a thriller, supposedly, something about her mom disappearing, but then she's found dead. And so it's about the main character Tina getting, I guess, revenge, it says. It just says a fast-paced, nail-biting thriller. I can't recall the last time I've read a thriller that was YA, also set in Africa, so that should be really, really interesting. Thank you, Penguin Teen, for sending me this. And also a stopwatch that is City of Saints and Thieves themed. Not bad. So on Twitter, I was approached by a lovely editor who asked if I wanted this book, and I said, of course. I've had this book on my radar for a while. It's called If I Was Your Girl by Meredith Russo. This is an Own Voices book about a transgender main character. I think it's just a high school love story featuring a trans main character. I think this is going to be very interesting and very good. I've heard positive reviews about it, and I'm excited to try it out. I can't wait to read this and more in that genre. That's the goal. Diversity bingo, which I'm not doing, but I should. I have her name now. The editor who sent me these is named Sarah. Her business card was in the book, so that's good. I'm so bad at writing down names to talk about in my videos. And also by Stephanie Garber. I remember everyone at BEA was freaking out about this, but I wasn't in the mood to wait in line for it, and like everyone on Books for Traders wanted this, everyone on Twitter is talking about this, and I think it sounds so cool. It's supposed to be like a YA night circus type deal about a carnival, and it just seems really cool. So thank you so much, Sarah, for throwing this in. I'm really excited to have it. My new favorite hobby is going to Sasha's house and petting her dog, and while I was there the other week, I found a book on her shelf, and I went, gonna have that, and she went, yeah. So she let me have Gemina by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. I traded my arc of this, and I don't own another copy of it, so it's mine now. My friend Stephanie, who has a booktube channel, I'll link her down below, saw that I got the 50th anniversary edition of The Outsiders. I'm not the hugest fan of S.E. Hinton. By that, I mean I'm not a fan. But she came to me and said, hey, I have this edition of Heartless. Would you rather trade it for The Outsiders? And I was like, yeah, boy. We traded, and now I have the exclusive edition of Heartless that was in the Owl Crate box that I didn't get. But I think she's so beautiful, and I love this version. I think I like this more than the original one, so I was super excited to trade for this, and I was meaning to pick up Heartless at one point, but it's an Alice in Wonderland retelling. It talks about how the Queen of Hearts came to be, her backstory and everything. I've heard this is really good. I'm not the hugest fan of Marissa Meyer. Like, I think the Lunar Chronicles series is way overhyped, but I do think this will be interesting, and I'm not tired of retellings yet. This next book I got from Erin, and I'll link her channel down below. She mailed me something, but also included this book that I was not expecting, and it's called Don't Get Caught, Let the Prank War Begin by Kurt Dinan. I had never heard of this book before, but she said it's super funny and great, so I'll have to try it out, I guess. I gotta trust the fam. If they're sending me books for free that are apparently good, I need to put them to good use and read them. I received a book in my P.O. box that I was not expecting, but it was The Tribulations of August Barton by Jennifer LeBlanc. This person sent this unsolicited. They found my P.O. box online. I'd never heard of this author or this book, but this is about a main character who has anxiety, which relevant. It's about his first year at college and running into people, finding friends, dealing with anxiety, etc. I began this as soon as I received it, and honestly I was enjoying it. It's not bad. Again, I'd never heard of this book. It just kind of showed up like a magic little present, and it's pretty good so far. I don't know. I also think this cover is pretty hilarious. So thank you, Jennifer, for sending me your book. I traded one of my arcs of Shatter Me to someone who was looking for it on Books for Trade. I'm such a nice person because I didn't need 6 of them. And so I got in return The Miseducation of Cameron Post by Emily M. Danforth. My English professor is friends with this person. So I've been like telling him for semesters now, I'm like, you gotta get her on campus. You gotta get her to send me a book. You gotta get her to sign it. So he said no, but now I have a copy of her book. It's an arc, but I mean, it's the book, so I'm gonna have her sign this if she ever comes on campus. I'm gonna be telling my professor I have this, and I'm actually just in general excited to read this because it's about a girl who lives in Montana who is around a very homophobic family, and when they find out she's a lesbian, she is sent to a conversion therapy type camp, which is horrific. But I'm really interested to hear about this. I think especially with Mike Pence being our upcoming vice president in the America. Hashtag relevant. Hashtag anger. Okay, how do you say F/F out loud? Because I really want to say I love F/F romance, but I don't know how to say that without being like lesbian romance, female romance. Let me know. I'm just a hetero over here trying to make it through. If you're unaware, I went to California for Christmas, so while I was there, my grandma was telling me all about the library she volunteers at, and I picked up a couple of things because it was only $2 for all of these together. The first one I read on the plane back from California. It's Bridge to Terabithia by Katherine Patterson. I'd never read this, I don't believe, but I have seen the movie, and this did make me cry. I'll talk about this a lot more in my wrap-up, but I did like it, and if you don't know what this is about, it's about these kids that make this fake kingdom, and it's heartbreaking. I remember this book from elementary school. I remember reading it, I remember hearing about it. This book is about a girl whose mother is mentally disabled, and I remember I really loved it as a kid. I don't know now, you know, I probably should have looked up if this book has any sort of problematic reviews or anything like that, but I just remember really enjoying this, and it was a title I recognized. I don't think I own it. It could be in storage and I just forgot about it. It probably is, but I have a copy of this that I got for like 50 cents, and I remember liking it as a kid. And the last book I got, I bought automatically just because the author's name was on it. It's The Waves by Virginia Woolf. If you don't know who Virginia Woolf is, she is my actual mother. She's a very feminist writer from the 19th century, 20th century. I own so many of her works but have not read them yet, which is tragic. I do want to read a lot of her works just because I respect her so much as a writer and as a feminist. I have no clue what this one's about, but it's a classic and it's by Virginia Woolf, so I had to have it, especially since it was so cheap there. These next two books I received from my Amazon wishlist, and it was a somewhat joking tweet that spurred this. I had tweeted a while ago the fact that I was looking at like religious texts and documents and putting them on my Amazon wishlist just because at like the turn of the year I realized I know little to nothing about Islam and Hinduism and Buddhism and stuff like that, and even Christianity, like the Bible. So I have the book that's the Bible written in like chronological order, and I haven't read that yet, but I really want to get to that one. And then I was deciding I really actually want to learn more about other religions, so I jokingly said like, I'll put the Koran on my wish list, lol, but then someone actually asked if they could buy it for me. And so these two books are from Ree, who I met at BEA. I remember you, girl. I remember it. So like I said, she got me the Koran, beautiful edition. I think in the beginning it has a foreword about Muhammad. I know nothing about this. There's a website you can go to where it reads it off to you in Arabic, and it was just so cool and neat, and I realized I'm just super excited to learn about this. And I don't know if this is ever going to be something that I read from like cover to cover. I don't think you're ever supposed to read any religious text from cover to cover unless you're, you know, you want to. But I really am excited to own this, and thank you so much, Ree, for getting it for me. And she also sent me a second book, which I was not expecting, and I'm so excited to have. This is called The Purity Myth by Jessica Valenti. Jessica Valenti is like my favorite human on this planet. She's such a wonderful intersectional feminist. I love her Twitter. I've read her essays in my women and gender studies classes. I've seen videos from her. She's just thebomb.com. I own her other book, Full Frontal Feminism, but this one talks all about virginity and how it's supposed to be this purity myth, and talking about how like virginity isn't sacred, and just really controversial stuff that I think really relates to feminism and like girls' self-worth and stuff like that. And I am so interested in reading this. I'm so excited I have it. The caption for this is How America's Obsession with Virginity is Hurting Young Women. Preach. I love this. Thank you so much for getting this for me. Then I went to Barnes & Noble, and I'm kind of crying because one of the things that I bought from there is being used as a tripod. It's a journal, so it's not like an actual book. You'll see it in like a couple months. But I got two things from this Barnes & Noble trip. This first one finally got me the Shatter Epoch set. You see it? I did not own this, but I wanted to. I was intending on getting this, and then these paperback copies would then be my copies that I would like allow myself to write in and dog ear. But it's wrapped in plastic, and I feel like it needs to remain that way. So I'm just gonna keep these locked in plastic and keep them safe forever. And I'm just excited to own this. I will buy Shatter Me for as long as it exists. I love her. I support her. She is my everything. That was weird. Moving onward. Then the next book I got, I kind of broke a rule. I have this rule where I tell myself, if I've not read the next book in a series, or if I haven't started a series, I'm not allowed to buy the sequels afterward until I need them, you know, until I can catch up to that book that I need. I don't know if that made sense. But I bought Crooked Kingdom before I even started Six of Crows. Disclaimer, I'm currently reading Six of Crows and I'm almost done, so I'm happy I have this so I can go right into the next one. But at the time I bought this, I hadn't started this one. It was an impulse buy. But I'm so happy I bought it because I am loving this one. So I can definitely tell you that these are going to be making the favorites list of 2017, which is so weird to say out loud. It's literally still 2015 in my head. But yeah, this was like a super dinged up copy and it was like, has marks everywhere on it, but I'm so thirsty for it. I just bought it because it was the last one. And that is everything that I got recently, unless I'm forgetting stuff. Thank you everyone for watching. Hope you're having a wonderful life and I will see you next time. Goodbye. I don't know why I just went, boy. Bye.